Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, Airspeed Prime here with my next Korra / Avatar comic news update video. So getting into the news, there's just been some recent news that came out last night into today with the Dark Horse solicitations for May this year. First up, the comic news is that we had the cover for the Rift Part 2 revealed last week. Now we have the description for the Rift Part 2, which I don't think we had before, so I'm just going to read that out for you right now. Team Avatar find themselves up to their necks in trouble as mysterious forces threaten to destroy lands once sacred to the Airbenders. While Aang journeys to the spirit world in search of clues, Toph faces off against her own past. Now, I've obviously read the Rift Part 1, I got an early preview copy for a review, but this is a pretty interesting description. Obviously, more spirit world action from Aang is really interesting. That clearly links into Avatar Yang Chen's involvement in the story. Toph facing off against her own past. Without spoiling anything, I think it's pretty obvious what that is. The only thing from Toph's past that makes sense to come back and be addressed. That one thing she has issues with. So that's really interesting. And then the Rift Part 1 has set up a really nice mystery, and that's going to be explored further in the Rift Part 2. So that's exciting. That book is going to be out July 16th in comic book stores. The Rift Part 1 is out March 5th in comic book stores, so that's just a few weeks away. Next up is a continuation to some news that we got in January, I believe, and that was the reveal of some new Korra merchandise, the first that we've seen in a long while. It was stuff like pint glasses, some badges, some patches and stuff like that of the element symbols, and a few images of Korra. Fairly stock, fairly basic stuff, just, you know, your run-of-the-mill items with Korra images on them, nothing too interesting. Now we've got the reveal of a new kind of batch of this same merchandise. That stuff I think was scheduled for May 7th. This new batch of stuff is scheduled to come out May 28th. So they're releasing this stuff fairly close together. So May should be a pretty interesting month for Avatar merchandise collectors. Anyway, so I'm just going to go through some of this new stuff that's coming out. First up, we have a Legend of Korra coffee mug, or just mug, and that's going to cost $12.99. You can see the image of it here. So we've got our basically stock image of our main cast of characters here. Four benders, you know, Pabu's in there as well. Really stock image. We saw a lot of this in the lead up to book 1 coming out. This is some of their press release images on a mug. Pretty nice. Price is maybe a little bit much for such a basic picture, but either way, that's a pretty nice one. That makes sense. Mug is just a nice piece of merchandise to have. You're probably going to use it a lot, and you have a core piece of merchandise like that. That's pretty cool. I don't drink coffee, though obviously you don't have to drink coffee to use the mug, but either way, that's interesting. Next up is a Korra lunchbox, which you can see the image of here. That's going to cost $14.99 US, and yeah, there's two different images. Obviously, one's the stock image of Korra, and then one's the same image that was on the mug. So there's obviously a couple of those. Interesting design, definitely. You see some of the element symbols down the side, and it seems like a pretty nice quality lunchbox. Obviously, you know, there's a big kind of disparity between a lot of this merchandise. Like coffee mug, maybe more aimed towards an adult collector. Lunchbox more towards a young fan of Avatar. So that's a big thing to notice, I think. But yeah, anyway, that's a nice lunchbox. Next up is a Legend of Korra magnet set that's going to cost $8.99. You can see the image of that here. This is pretty interesting. This was probably the one thing revealed here of the 4 things that I'd probably be interested in actually getting myself. In the first batch of items, I think the one thing I was interested in was the little badge set, because it was the easiest way to get all the 4 element symbols. But this seems really interesting because there's a lot of interesting images here. Obviously, it's again stock images. We've all seen all of these images before. We've seen that Fire Ferret image, we've seen that Tenzin image, those Korra images, that Mako one, that Naga one, that Pabu one. but it's a nice collection of images from our main characters. Obviously, the one person really missing there would be Bolin getting his own one, Asami getting his own one, Amon, but that's pretty nice. $8.99 is pretty cheap for that. Interesting to see how large it is, but we'll find out eventually. Lastly is the Legend of Korra shot glass set for $19.99. You can see that here. This is definitely the oddest one. Obviously, we got pint glasses last time around. Now we have shot glasses. So definitely, some of this stuff is aimed at adult collectors here, for adult Avatar fans here. This is not like young Nickelodeon merchandise stuff here. This is shot glasses. I don't drink, so they'd be no use to me, but they seem like pretty nicely made. You know, they've got the element symbols on them, and then Legend of Korra written on the back of them. That's nice. Bit expensive for 4 of them. I think the pint glass set costs around the same. But either way, there's a nice kind of mix of items here that there's something for like everyone, pretty much. None of it's like the stuff that I think we really want, like stuff like I think most Avatar fans would want would be stuff like Avatar trading card game with some new art or something like that. Avatar Korra comics or something like that. Korra action figures, sticker collection or something like that. That's the sort of stuff we want. Collectibles. This is just, you know, your standard. Make everyday items have core images on them. While they're interesting, it's the first one. They seem to be putting a lot of effort into these. Nothing incredibly interesting, I think, just yet. And definitely interesting to see where they're going, because the description for these items does say that this is a new ongoing merchandise line that they've started up, Dark Horse, because the Avatar comics have been one of their best sellers and one of their most popular series. So it shows that the comics are selling well, shows that Korra Avatar is popular, and that's why they're putting this merchandise out. It just seems like a really odd selection of merchandise still. So definitely let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are on this merchandise and the Rift Part 2 description. Obviously, we're eagerly awaiting stuff like Nick Up Front happening in a few weeks. People have a lot of confidence that we're probably going to get a trailer for Book 3, a full trailer there after the short one we got a while ago. That's definitely what we're waiting for right now. Coronation to return, a full like English Book 3 trailer to come out, and just really get people excited, because Book 3 can't be that far off now, and we're hitting I suppose a pretty good patch of Avatar news right now. You know, Rift Search hardcover came out last week, like a few weeks ago. Rift Part 1 is out in a few weeks. Potentially, you know, Book 3 trailer just a few weeks, days away, and then just a few months for the actual airing of Book 3 probably. So things are looking up, but thanks for watching this news video, and bye.